There is a game going around, going viral right now, with the core objective to gang rape women, men gang raping women, and the more you gang rape, you get more points. I already know I'm gonna get.
Hey guys, on today's episode of What the Fuck is Wrong with Some Men and Why Do They Hate Us So Much, I have a game to tell you about. I'm gonna make this video and then move on because I cannot keep looking at the comments, the reviews, any of it, because I am going to go insane.
Trigger warning, everybody. There is some very disturbing, very disturbing things we're going to discuss today. As you guys heard, it's going to be about a video game and what happened with this video game. So let's get into it because it's very interesting.
So there's a video game that popped up on my FYP called No Mercy. And I opened up the page and I want to talk about everything that's on here that's absolutely disgusting. So for context, this video game is about your main character subduing women. It's a 3D choice-driven adult visual novel where its focus is on incense, if you get what I mean, and male domination. I saw the trailer for the video game and it literally looks like those terrible fucking corn AI commercials that you would see if you're on a corn site. Like that 3D bullshit, right? Like that's literally all it is, and that's sad that people are into that shit, right? Now, I'm gonna read the mature content description and I'm gonna change some of the verbatim in it just so that way it doesn't get flagged or anything of that sort, right? Like, because I don't wanna, get any violations, right? But this is word for word to the extent from the description. This game graphically contains intimacy and violence, mature language, nudity, graphic depictions of intimacy from above to the bottom, and other intimate activities. This game content includes incense, blackmail, unavoidable non-consensual intimacy, as well as the use of drugs, alcohol, and cigarettes. They made it clear that it's a work of fiction. It's not tied to reality or whatever, but doesn't take away how disturbing this game is. Right? Now, here's the about of this game, okay? Warning, this is not your average love story. After catching your own mother betraying your father, you uncovered the true nature of woman, especially her. But she's no ordinary housewife. She's hiding a dark secret that's haunted her for years. Now it's your turn to uncover it, blackmail her, expose her, and rebuild your family on your own terms. Own her. That you're talking about the in-game character's own mother. Something you got to do with your own in-game character's mother. It's in this game, you'll either become every woman's worst nightmare or rather the best intimacy they'll ever have. Your goal is simple. Leave no woman without intimacy, since that's the only thing they all want. Never take no for an answer. Be intimate with your mom. Be intimate with your auntie. And even be intimate with your friend's mom. Why not? Featuring whatever symbol, 3,000 renders, high quality animations, top tier, and meticulous attention to detail. That is actually great. Already a fan favorite in the NSFW game Incense community. Take what's yours now and show no mercy. Now here's the thing, y'all. Like, this is disgusting. Like, I'm sorry. This is absolutely fucking disgusting. Like, I know that I'm someone that loves horror films. I know that I'm someone that loves horror movies and horror video games especially, and the gratuitous nature that is presented in horror movies, but I have a right and choice to say that gratuitous nature of SA towards anybody, especially women and children, is fucking disgusting.
There's a difference between killing zombies and raping women and children. Like, there's a difference between like just blood and gore for the sake of blood and gore and the idea of raping a woman or a child. Like, that's not the same thing. So yeah, I understand exactly what he's saying.
And the fact that someone made a video game where you are doing this to women, especially your own mother in the video game, is fucking disgusting. The developer and publisher is Zerat Video Games, and yeah, more than likely they're either an incel or there's someone that thinks that they're a red pill fantasy and they wanted to make a red pill fantasy, because this is fucking disgusting.
I think let me offer a third opinion. I think they're capitalists and they know that they know that the incel community is, clamoring for this type of content, and they made it. That's the first step that I go to. I don't know if the gamers themselves are incels or anything like that. Like, I don't know. The creators, I don't have any reason to think that, even though they're, you know what I'm saying? Like, just because people make cop games doesn't make, oh, they must be cops. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't assume that. I assume that they are exploiting the loneliness and the deprivation that exists within the incel community. That's what I think. The anger that exists within the incel community. They don't care. They don't give a fuck about the incels. They don't give a fuck about the men who exist in these communities, and they damn sure don't give a fuck about the women that are harmed by these men. And all they want to do is make $1. That's what I think.
Very positive reviews, 174 of all of them. I just want to let y'all know that this is a video game that's already been banned in Germany, and I honestly think that this is one of those video games that really, really needs some attention to criticize and attention to take down, because this is disgusting.
All right. Hey, so we've been talking about, and I mean we as a collective, as a society, we've been talking about the connection between video games and violence, music and violence, media and violence, whatever, TV and violence, whatever it is, right? And it definitely plays a role. Definitely, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. First person shooters, music, you know, listening to fucking Eminem and Marilyn Manson, and you know, listening to violent music, listening to misogynistic music. I feel like it's funny because being a 90s baby, a 90s child, you know, 80s baby, 90s child, I always gravitated more towards like the positive music. You know what I'm saying? Not to say I didn't like gangster shit and I didn't like violent music or whatever. Tupac was my favorite rapper. But I liked when he was introspective. You know what I'm saying? He had many facets to him. But my favorite wasn't when he was necessarily talking about, you know, killing people and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just a part of it. But I say all of that to say, if music could cure us, I think we would already be cured. The same way, if music, like, I don't think media is the thing that's making people like this. What I think media does in a lot of these cases, though, is because the foundation is so strong, media just keeps it going. Media just pours gasoline on the fire. So essentially what I'm saying is pouring gasoline on wood that's not burning does nothing to the wood, right? But if you light the wood first, a little gasoline goes a long way. And when men are already extremely misogynistic, right? Like inherently misogynistic because of the way that, you know, the way we are socialized in our homes and in our neighborhoods, all you have to do is pour a little bit of gasoline on that fire and it grows and it burns, right? And that's what I kind of, you know, equate this to. It's like, or media in general, video game, whatever. It's like, I look at this as like, yeah, it's not like the video game radicalized these men. These men were already radicalized. You know what I'm saying? But this video game is just furthering the radicalization. They're already in the pipeline. They're already there. It's just, you know, for you to want to play this game, you have to be radicalized. You know what I mean? For you to be interested in this type of content, you're already radicalized for the most part. Like this is a progression. You've been progressively going down the pipeline this whole time until you reach this point. And the next step from here is doing it in real life, right? You make a video game about doing this shit. The next step from here is, you know, shooting animals, shooting pets, and then, you know what comes next. Fucking Richard Ramirez type shit. So when I look at media, I know it's important. I know it, you know what I'm saying? I understand the effects of it to a certain, you know, I try to understand it, but like, I'm just not the type of person to be like, the media is to blame for all of this stuff. I know a lot of people like to do that, but I'm not on that type of time. I don't think art is the thing that is driving people, because art has way more positive things in it than it does negative. But for some reason, the negative things are the things that we gravitate towards, right? Right. And I'm saying the reason why is because of real life. Our real life indoctrination, you know what I mean? It's so hard to overpower It's so hard to overpower the real life indoctrination of men and women, but in this case, men. So let's kind of follow the history of this real quick. I want to give a little backstory. So this article is from the Washington Post. It was written in the early 2000s, but even back then we were already talking about this. Obviously, it says in the Grand Theft Auto series, one of the world's top-selling video game franchises, players can have sex with women and then kill them. So it was already happening. Like this video game, like this is just the next step, right? The action boosts the health of the protagonist, all of which are men. Researchers wondered how encouraging this kind of brutality in the digital realm could impact real life teenagers. In a study published this week in the journal PLOS One, a team of social scientists asked a group of Italian high school students to play one of three kinds of games. One that rewarded violence against women, Grand Theft Auto. One that promoted violence without degrading women, a portion of the Half-Life series. Or one that featured good, clean fun, a pinball or puzzle sequence, right? I love this experiment already. After participants played their games for about 25 minutes, they answered questions about how they felt about on-screen characters. Did they identify with the mobster in Grand Theft Auto? Did they connect with the alien battling scientist in Half-Life? The researchers then showed each student a photo of a bruised girl who they said had been beaten by a boy. They asked, on a scale of 1 to 7, how much sympathy do you have for her? The male students who had just played Grand Theft Auto and also related to the protagonist felt least bad for her, the study found, with an empathy mean score of 3. Those who had played the other games, however, exhibited more compassion. And female students who played the same rounds of Grand Theft Auto had a mean empathy score of 5.3. Wow. The researchers' conclusion: sexist games may shrink boys' empathy for female victims. The remarkably different answers men and women give when asked who's the smartest in the class. Oh yeah, this is it. Brad Bushman, a professor of communications and psychology at Ohio State University, and said the violent games may nudge players closer to the mindset of the character they control. Quote, you're making the person shoot and stab and kick and hit, end quote, he said. In the short term, at least, it's much harder to adopt the perspective of the victim, end quote. Of course, when someone commits a crime and says a video game made him do it, that argument tends to die quickly in court. Bushman's team knew it couldn't prove that Grand Theft Auto incites violence. They focused instead on how stepping into a killer's shoes could alter a player's attitudes. Ain't that some stuff? So the video games may not be like a direct one-to-one, right? But you becoming less empathetic to the plight of women plays in to the suffering that women are going through. That is like, it may not translate to you being violent, don't get me wrong. How it'll show up is when you get online and a woman comes out and says a man did something to her, you're less likely to believe her. And then you start to perpetuate toxic stereotypes about women, right? You start to victim blame. You start to defend abusers. You start to offend, homicidal maniacs who have been out here killing women, killing children, whatever, right? Talking about you can understand how the man could be pushed to kill his whole family and shit like that, which I've seen comments like that. That is what these games does to the majority of men who play them. That is what it does. And then for a select few, it pushes them over the edge if they're not already there, but it pushes them over the edge to committing acts of violence, and it just escalates the acts of violence, right? Because of the lack of empathy. Empathy is so important when we talk about combating violence against women. Empathy is so important. A reason why I feel the way that I feel now in my older age is because my empathy has grown. You know what I mean? I had a lifetime of being desensitized, right? Through my environment, growing up poor, growing up in poverty, seeing a lot of violence, through media and through religion. Empathy was out the door. Religion definitely took a lot of my empathy away for a long time. And when I unpacked, religion, when I got away from the religion, when I lost my religion, I started to become more empathetic. And that may not go for everybody. Like, that's fine. I'm telling you what it did for me. If your religion has made you more empathetic, great. Keep doing it. But for me, it made me less empathetic. So I had to, a part of the reason why I let it go was because of that. But fast forward to today, a reason why I could talk from the perspective that I'm talking from is because I have more empathy. I still need to keep growing my empathy though. It needs to keep growing. It can't stop where it's at right now, but I'm actively trying to do it. Most men aren't, most people aren't, but most men aren't. Well, definitely most men aren't. I don't know if most people aren't. Most men are not trying to actively grow their empathy. They don't even understand what it means most of the time when you ask them about it. But empathy is the key here. Me personally, I'm tired of women going through this type of stuff.
You guys are gonna see me upset in this video, but I do not care. I am fucking sick. There is a game going around, going viral right now, with the core objective to gang rape women, men gang raping women, and the more you gang rape, you get more points. I already know I'm gonna get spat for crying. Listen, ask me if I care. Ask me again if I care. Sorry that I actually have empathy for my fellow women of this godforsaken planet. We do not deserve this shit. And the thing that's fucked up is that this is not some crazy game that you have to go searching for. This is literally on Steam. You can find it right now on Steam. So any gamer or anyone of that nature who has a Steam Deck or has access to Steam is able to get a hold of something this destructive. I don't understand how anyone is able to ever even conceptualize giving birth in this planet when this is the type of people we have to share the world with. In the UK, just a couple weeks ago, for example, that we had a case where schoolboys gang raped a girl around the school premises, and now I am just wondering, did they have a hand to play in this game? Because there are over 130 million users that actively play this flipping shit. Waking up to this when I've just posted the petition in my bio for Kwekwe, justice for Kwekwe, the 7-year-old in South Africa who was raped in school. I hate this planet. Get me off. Get me off. Do not.
And if you guys don't remember, I would play the clip, but I really don't want to find it right now. But that it was a man on Christopher Williams podcast. I think I just shared the clip, but he was talking about how like red pill, there is no link between red pill rhetoric and violence and all of that. Like, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. That's like that type of stuff those are the type of men that these games produce. The types of men that will go out there and lie about shit like that so that things can't ever change. That's the type of men that, this type of media is like, this is what it wants to produce. It doesn't necessarily need to produce the extremely violent men. It just needs to produce the men that are apathetic to the plight of women. That's it.
Hey guys, on today's episode of What the Fuck is Wrong with Some Men and Why Do They Hate Us So Much, I have a game to tell you about. I'm gonna make this video and then move on because I cannot keep looking at the comments, the reviews.
Like, women are literally crying because of how disgusting this game is. Like, I can imagine, like, I can actually, part of it, I could put myself in their shoes, because if I got online and there was a game that was like for white, for racist white people or white supremacists, and it was like, yeah, you could just like put black people back in slavery and you know what I mean, and do whatever you want to do to black people, I would easily, like, I would crash out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could see, I would, not to say I would, like, I could see myself having like this type of like a visceral reaction to this. I didn't see this game, by the way. I didn't go to the website. By the time I got there, it's already down. So, and just so you know, it's been removed. But well, in the UK it's been removed. I don't know if it's been removed in the US. But They said the game was removed. I should check it actually at this point. I just thought about that. But anyways, I haven't seen the game, but like, yeah, this is a reasonable reaction to seeing that content. This is a reasonable reaction. I know some men specifically are going to see these women and be like, "Oh, buttercup, button up, buttercup," or whatever goofy ass shit you guys want to say. But this is reasonable. Like, they're reacting very rational and reasonably. You like you being this upset about this, very, very reasonable. Very reasonable. This is very understandable in my mind.
Views, any of it, because I am going to go insane. I cannot tell you what this game entails in this app because it will get flagged, it will get taken down, so I am just gonna put a screenshot now on the screen and you can read it for yourself. This screenshot is from the Collective Shout website. If you go onto the Collective Shout website, you can send an email directly to the creator of Steam, the streaming platform on which this game is currently hosted, to petition to get it taken down, because this is horrendous. I'm gonna put some steps on the screen now of how to do that, how to go onto the website, how to send the email. All you need to do is copy and paste that little paragraph, put it in an email, put your details in, and click send. If you are not convinced that this is a problem, I'm gonna now put some reviews of this game on the screen. Please do not read them if you don't want to. It's really harrowing. It's really difficult.
Let's read them. I want to read them. I definitely want to read them. Let's see. It says the other instance involves a character named Tommy. However, if you play on easy mode, which I recommend, the creator of this game clearly shows you what not to click if you don't want to share. Easy as pie to avoid, and you still get the juicy scenes with the lady who is all yours. Now on to the routes of this game. Let's start with domination route. This route is spicy as the main character completely dominates the mother. This route lacks any romance whatsoever. And by the end of the route, the mother is completely obedient and craves the meat hammer. Wow. Another person says, this is a relatively short game with a good amount of content. I really love the forced aspect of this game. Those are really hot. I thoroughly enjoyed this game. The premise and fetish is right up my alley. I highly recommend. Mm. 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 Wow. Okay.
To read, but this is a huge problem. This is something I absolutely want to bring awareness to, and it's something I cannot just sit idly by and allow things like this to be on the internet. This should disgust you. This should enrage you. This should make you fear for your children. It should make you fear for the youth of today, absolutely, because this platform, Steam, you can access it from the age of 12. This game says for adults only, but to my knowledge, there's no restrictions. The problem with games that depict such deranged violence against women is that it basically normalizes it. If you are sat in your room every day playing games where women are next to nothing and you can do what you want with them, that will reflect the relationships that you have with women in real life. It will affect the way that you view women in real life, and this is why games like this are such a huge problem. If you play violent games, if you view violent material from a young age, it will affect your brain. It will affect the way that you view things in real life. It will desensitize you to these things. No one should ever be desensitized to that level of violence. So as my final words, please go onto the Collective Shout website. I'm going to put the name on the screen right now. It should be one of the first things that pops up because it's so prevalent. Click on it, scroll down, send the email. If you would like to learn some more, there's also some more information on the website about it, because I don't want to go into any more detail. It's horrendous.